Hi, I'm Creason,
And I'm Cynthia.
and this is Random Spirit, where we talk about random topics. What are we talking about today, Cynthia?
Today, we'll be talking about our intuition, right? That gut feeling that we have, that feeling that we have. Um, Creason will be giving us like 4 little pointers on how we can develop our intuition.
Correct.
And I will be speaking on 5 reasons why you don't hear your intuition. We'll be like sharing with you guys our intuition, I guess, and then stories. So, Creason, what is the like definition of intuition?
Yeah, so intuition, the definition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning, which is not to be confused with the ego, which is a person's sense of self esteem or self importance. So, yeah, like I guess a good way of thinking about it is if you're feeling anxious, insecure, or tense, it's probably going to be the ego. And if you're feeling uplifted, like the idea is coming from like a authentic place or a loving place, it's most likely your intuition. So yeah,
Ooh, interesting. Cool. Okay. So, Creason, go on and like let us know how we can like develop in our intuition or like whatever.
yeah. So number one, you want to pay attention to the very first feeling you have about the situation. It's hard because our mental programs turn on very fast.
So the ego, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Number two, you want to notice when your first feeling was right. This is how to train your brain to pay attention and trust. Number three, stop being embarrassed by your feelings,
Yes.
acknowledge them and understand. And number four, your feeling is guidance on your way. Negative is what you have to be changed, positive is what you have to be strengthened. So those are four.
Oh, I'm wondering, like, is the ego like that negative? Like,
Yeah,
would it be?
yeah. The ego, is about self-perseverance.
Yes.
Usually it's trying to push people away and push people aside for
I
your own goals.
I fucking have that. Oh my god. Okay, stop.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just trying to make people feel bad,
Hey.
that's probably ego. Yeah, you got you just got to stop that.
Okay. The 5 reasons. Um 5 reasons to why you don't hear your intuition, right?
Hmm.
So, one, your rational mind is too strong. Again, I feel like overthinking, the fucking ego.
Ouch.
What was I describing you?
Yeah, I was I
Chris,
was I was overthinking this whole podcast.
you were. Listen, stop. Your rational mind is too strong, okay? Um Also, number 2, which I feel like it's so huge, your ego gets in the way. It's that freaking voice in your head, Cynthia. No one has voices in their head. I do, okay?
Oh, that's
That
great.
that negativity, like that negative mind set that you have, your ego gets in the way, and it's just like, it clouds and it makes things foggy, right?
Hmm.
Another reason why you can't hear your intuition is you're feeling anxious and depressed, kind of like yeah, you're feeling anxious and depressed, and you don't trust your I can speak. You don't trust yourself, right?
Hmm.
I feel like we all need to trust ourselves, but that's another way, like, why you can't hear your intuition and you feel disconnected from
Hmm.
yourself, right? Um, so, Creason, how can you, right? You be able to like distinguish your intuition? Like, how do you know like it's your intuition?
The way that I figure out between the intuition and the ego is when I am there, just kind of in my normal state, and I get a good feeling, that's usually my intuition telling me something. Um, I'm pretty empathetic, so I kind of like to shove my ego side down. Like, the only time I feel that my ego comes out is when I'm really irritated or pissed off, of where I'm just like, forget the world. I want to do this thing because I want to do this thing. And I kind of shove it down to the side. I feel that's when my ego comes out because my ego's deliberate. Like I deliberately like will get like those feelings and then I would just follow them. So like, it's deliberate. Like, what can I do to be like an as pretty much? And like out and those are the thoughts that I feel come from my ego. But when it comes to like, wanting to do good things for people, like trying to think about the greater good, like trying to go ahead and talk and like feeling in my heart that I need to talk to someone today. Those are all intuitions, and they usually are right, which is really what makes it interesting.
Yeah.
Like usually when I call someone, they actually did want to talk to me, or they were like, "Oh yeah, I was thinking of you," or whatever. Or if I get the intuition to get someone something, like they usually are really happy, or sometimes they're not, but
Yeah.
it all ends up working out in the end. Um, that's what intuition usually does for me. Like those things end up working out in the end. But yeah, there is a fine line between it. Um, so it's more of like, is it coming from a place that's good, or is it coming from a place that you're just trying to mess someone's day up?
Yeah.
And that's the difference to me between ego and intuition. Intuition's doing something good. Ego is doing something just to mess someone's day up.
I like the way you put that. That's really nice. I'm a little different. I'm a lot different. I feel like I can't relate to a lot of people.
Okay.
And it's because I mean, I can't stress this enough. I don't like to feel, right? So like just okay. So my intuition normally comes off as like it comes off as impulsive to others, but to me it's not. I come from like a good place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if it's because I'm just like I like it's just like a random like feeling. It's like when I first started listening to my fucking intuition,
Mm-hmm.
um I mixed it with anxiety because I had like major anxiety after I had Bash, and it's the same fucking feeling. Creason's like, I can't relate,
So
okay?
is your intuition anxiety? Is that what you're trying to get at here? Like,
It's like it feels the same. I don't know. Like at first it is. Like I feel super anxious. I get jittery.
mm-hmm.
And then Trey's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "No." I'm really not okay, but um that's how I feel. And then,
Mm-hmm.
like as the freaking I guess seconds go or whatever, like it gets like calm, and then I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, or like this is like whatever, and then I just do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why people think it's so impulsive, because of the fact that I'm like I'm very random. I'm very like, I don't want to say hyper, but you know
Yeah.
no, I don't know. Okay.
Well,
You don't
I
need
hope.
to. My mind is scattered. I'm scatterbrained. But yeah, my ego's pretty freaking big. And the issue that I have is, oof, look, I am calling myself out. And my guides called me out today too. So let's get it. Um, I have a really difficult time with intuition when it comes to family, right? When it comes to people that I love. It's hard to separate the two. With like the ego, and well, I wouldn't say like I'm not coming from a bad place. It's complicated. It's really complicated. Comes off as like this is like I have to do this right now. Right now is a great time, and then I do it and it is a great time.
Okay.
So yeah. So Creason, go on and give us like a good intuition story of yours or something.
I get intuition a lot, so
You
I
do?
guess I'll just go ahead and explain some of the stories that I have. So it's not necessarily, well, I guess we can try to combine this into one story, but the way that it works for me is that I'll get like a glimpse to get something or to call someone, and then I just immediately do it. So like, for instance, one of the stories that we covered earlier in the podcast was about like the Moldavite, or a crystal that we talked about earlier, and that was an intuition based thing. That well, at least in my view, like that was intuition based, because at
Yeah.
first, it was just, oh, let's explore like spiritual,
Yeah.
and I got the intuition like, oh yeah, like get this thing for you and for her, and I was like, okay, like we'll see how this goes. And yeah, like it ended up being a really big factor for us even starting this spiritual journey, let alone going through it for as
Yeah.
long as we have. So intuition is incredibly important. And I got that on a lot of occasions. Like, when my mom was sad, intuition led me into a store of where, they told me to get a couple of rocks, and I went and got those. And she was like, wow, like I still like look at those when I want encouragement up to today.
Yeah.
A lot of the gifts that I buy is guided by intuition. Like I
Yeah.
would listen to key things that people say that they want. All that's intuition. They're like, that would be a good thing to get, and I'll be like, and I'll log it away or put it down and then come back around and basically positive. Like if
Mhm.
not all the time positive. And I realized that the difference between this and ego, like at least from my place, whenever I do something because of ego, like it ends up creating like a firestorm for me
Yeah.
afterwards. Like if I place it on anger, like um let's see if I have a story in terms of that. Oh, yes, I have a decent ego story. I know it's not the thing, but
It's
I,
okay.
I should actually describe the difference between an ego push and an intuition push.
Yeah.
So one of my ego pushes was like I was really angry because my youngest brother would break like a
Which
lot.
one?
Zav
Oh
would
shit.
break a lot of things. And I know he's gonna get irritated if he ever listens to this podcast, but you know, like I'm gonna be fair. At the time I was really irritated because like he would always, break everything that I had. So I would always get really angry whenever he would like play on my like systems, like my PlayStation 3. I was like really, really hard on him with that. I was like, you gotta take care of it, blah 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 blah. That was all ego driven. Like in most cases, I don't really care about like those types of stuff, like my game consoles and stuff like that. But for Zav, like like I want to like show a stance of like, okay, like I'm tired of you breaking everything that I have, like But it was fully ego driven because intuitively I didn't really care, like But because of that, like it's like the thing that I cared for the most, he ended up breaking by accident because of my ego. My dad was working on the power that day, and like he turned it off I mean, he didn't want to turn off the game, mostly because he said like, like I'm always telling him like that I want him to like take care of stuff, and he does take care of it. And he left it on, and my dad turned off the power, and it shorted out the system and basically fried it.
Dude, I didn't know that I didn't know that that like could happen. Like it wiped everything out.
Nah, it fried the card of the system. Like the system like basically like fried, as in it smoked, and it didn't turn back on.
Oh crap. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That
So
damn.
but I feel that if I dealt with it with a little bit more intuition, that it probably would have never gotten that bad, you know? And after that, like I kind of pulled off the brakes from Zav. I don't know if Zav ever knew that I pulled off the brakes. He would always say that I didn't, but I was never like as hard on him when it came to my stuff. Like I, instead of like me saying like you can use it and be a hard like I would just like say like don't like if I don't want to use something, I will tell him not to use something instead of like letting him use it and then tell him to take care of it and be hard on him. I wouldn't let him use it at all. So that way it prevents the situation, which is what my intuition told me to do in the first place. But I didn't want to do it because I wanted to like give him freedom to do stuff like everyone else. So yeah, like basically what I'm trying to say is ego-driven decisions really end up biting you in the end. Because the moment that you start doing it based off of your own self-preservation, like, oh, I want to be hard and I want to do this because like that's when things start to break down and just go against. But if you start doing stuff from a good place, like the intuition is mostly from good, I would say. So like getting a gift for someone and like caring for someone, another story I have, gosh, I'm going deep into these stories, but last one. I went to my sister, like there was that one time, and my sister was really having a hard time that time. And I don't want to go too deep into it, but she thanked me for like coming over. She was like, "Oh wow," she's like, "I didn't know you were gonna come over." She's like, "I really, really wanted someone to talk to," and that made me feel really good because it's like I came over at the exact time, like I was some kind of a Superman or something, you know. And it's funny because on this podcast we also talk about self love.
Yes.
So, yeah, but yeah, like listening to your intuition is really important. And it really did shape a lot of my decisions. A lot of my gift giving has to do with intuition. So I do follow it quite a lot. So yeah, your turn, Cynthia, because I took
It's okay. I
a good
love
chunk of time on this.
I love hearing these stories. So, um so I actually have a question before I go into mine. Like, have you ever, like, I guess throughout like your whole life, have you always like listened to your intuition, one, right?
Mhm.
And two, um I'm trying to think because I don't necessarily know if ego always comes from a bad place, especially like my situation and my stories that I'll get into, but you'll be able to like, um
Yeah, we could discuss after
yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
to see the differences.
have you always listened to your intuition?
So no, I no, I haven't. So when I was inside like elementary, I didn't know what intuition, let alone what ego was.
No.
I would have voices in my head, but that was as far as it went. When I got to high school, I made a decision that I wanted to go straight for ego. So like I was very, very like hard on a lot of people, especially the ones that I could not stand from grade school. Like I basically shunned them all away. Something that like I think that I would have been able to keep or hold some of those relationships up to today, but it's the main reason why I don't have any more elementary school friends left, like by a little, because I basically did a full on fire and forget on all of them
Mm.
after I went to high school. So the only friends that like I probably only have like one friend left from there, and he wasn't even in my grade because as far as I was concerned, everyone from my grade needed to get burned. So I never like I like completely like cut everyone off. High school I went more ego based. But once I got to 11th and 12th grade, I kind of mellowed out and I was like, yeah, why am I like why am I so angry at all these people when like, it's over. Like, I'm out of this like, people like not treating me well. Like, let me get out of it. So I mellowed out for 11th and 12th grade and those grades went by really well and they were really, really good for me overall. I think I found myself inside 11th and 12th grade. By the time I got to college, after I did like my classes, my martial arts classes, I started to meditate a bit more. Is when I started to follow intuition a lot more, and it led me to a lot of the friends that I still have today. Um, Intuition was really really important. So yeah, it wasn't all the time. I had my ego days, but then I just realized like, why am I burning up so much energy with it? So I just kind of stopped after a time. So that's my experience.
The reason why I ask is because I don't think I've ever listened to my intuition, and I didn't start until recently. I believe like until the last couple years really. So I have two stories about my intuition.
Mm-hmm.
And the first story does have to do with family. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet. It's not really sweet, but whatever.
Mhm.
So so I am like gonna admit that my intuition gets blocked when family members are involved. I guess you can say my intuition gets blocked with love, and it's probably because of the fact that I tend to want to be like accepted and want to belong somewhere,
Mhm.
and it is, I guess, my toxic fucking trait. Because then I end up I end up like not listening to my intuition, and then it gets foggy and
Mhm.
my ego comes in. I feel like I have two sides of the ego. I have the bitch, and then I have the people pleaser. I have the one that makes excuses for everything.
Mhm.
And when it comes to the situation that I'm speaking of, that is what had happened. It was my people pleaser, and it was the like I just wanted to like feel love and accepted, and you know, I knew in the situation, I knew how it was going to turn out,
Mhm.
but I did not listen, and in the end, I ended up getting hurt.
Mhm.
And it sucks getting hurt from family, because at the end of the day, like, family to me is everything, and
Mhm.
it just really sucks. Like, getting your heart broken by a family member really sucks. And
Mhm.
I learned that I had to set boundaries, because, I was people pleasing and whatever. And I noticed that I was not being like my true self. And finally, I decided to set boundaries.
Mhm.
So, with my intuition helped me set those boundaries. And it's pretty shocking how you set boundaries and you can see people's true colors.
Mhm.
And the disrespect that comes is quite amazing.
Yeah.
but but yeah, so that is basically what happened. And setting boundaries helped me listen to my intuition and get more
Mhm.
in tune with myself and my body. And
Mhm.
it really sucks, but I feel like lesson learned. People were involved in this situation that should have not been involved, and it's very unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Mhm.
um my heart was broken. It sucks. Hopefully, like, I'll get over it.
Mhm.
I love this person dearly. This person's not going to listen to this podcast, but I feel like I need to get this off my chest. I love you. I forgive you.
Mhm.
And I don't know, we probably will never be on speaking terms, because again, boundaries. My ego has been coming to me, and just, I've been wanting to contact this person, but I know that it's my ego trying to set that trap, and it's going to be this fucking loop, this never ending loop. And then the boundaries are just going to get thrown out, and
Mhm.
then I'm going to be the only one giving, and it's just going to be a fucking hot mess. And I don't need that. But
Yeah.
I love you, and I hope that everything's going with. I cannot speak. I hope everything's going good with you. I literally wish you nothing but the best, positive vibes to you. And again, you probably don't love me, which fucking hurts, but it's all good in the neighborhood. I
Mhm.
love you. I love you. I love you. So the second story that I have is a little different. So another way that my intuition, like, that I actually have trouble with, but I'm learning, comes in urges. So just like having this feeling of needing to do something with, like, kind of not really no explanation, if that makes sense. And I followed and listened to my intuition coming back home.
Mhm.
Probably make a separate, like, episode on why I came back home, whatever, my own personal reasons. But there was a lot to it. and I just had this urge to come back home. And it's this internal battle within myself. Again, like I said, I have my bitch side, and my bitch side actually was beating me down during the whole process of me coming back home for my reasons. And I would beat myself down with my ego, and then I'd like pick myself back up, and I'd be like, okay, Cynthia, we're gonna do this. Like, these are your reasons, it's good. And then my ego would come back and just beat me down again, like, Cynthia, like, you can't just go, like, you're dumb, whatever. At the, at the end, I won. My intuition won, and I knew there was a reason for me to come. There are my reasons. To other people, it may seem impulsive. To me, it's not. I just like had this urge. I have been working on that and try not to beat myself up. So yeah, those are my two stories on the intuition. Now we're gonna get into the card pulls. I'm doing tarot. We're doing tarot. We will be doing the perspective, like a 2-card pull. It's going to be the perspective card and a reality card, right?
Okay.
So Creason is going to go first. Okay, so the 2 cards that I had pulled for you is the 9 of coins. Is the perspective card. And what the 9 of coins is it basically represents comfort, accomplishment, and prosperity. So like, positive vibes and just like achievements and stuff with you. That is your perspective card. And then your reality card. I'm just gonna do the 2, and then like you can speak about it, okay?
Sure.
Okay, the reality card. So the reality card is the Hierophant in reverse. And when reversed, the Hierophant shows poor leadership. You may be misled by an incompetent or egotistic individual at work or on your spiritual path, right? This is I can't speak, sorry. This is the card of the bad guru, right? The judgmental teacher who is more interested in furthering his ambitions than supporting you and yours. Those are your 2 cards, perspective and reality.
Yeah, so my read on these cards is, pretty I mean, right now is a very difficult time. I feel as though like I am juggling a lot of things, and I don't like have a lot of time to address a lot of the stuff that I'm juggling. This is one of them. Basically trying to find enough time to handle a situation of where you feel as though you're doing the right moves and hitting the right path and crossing the right, roads per se.
Yeah.
But in the background, you have like, a person that, or people, could be more than one,
Yes.
that like go against that and have their own agenda, and you're just kind of part of it. And if you're not the I guess cog in the clock, or gear in the wheel that they want, that it becomes very difficult to go ahead and work with said individuals. And that, I feel, is where things get very rough when it comes to reality, because in your mind you want to say that you're doing the right thing. You've gotten used to doing the same thing over and over, and it wasn't wrong previously. But when those things change, adaptability becomes very important. And if you're having a difficult time reaching adaptability, it gets difficult to go ahead and deal with the reality that, things aren't the way that you think that they are inside your mind, and the reality really hits you in the face. So that's my read on the cards. It's, realizing that not everything's going to go your way
Yes.
every single time. And how you react to that is going to show like a lot in terms of the future. And, I'm usually a very good attitude person. It's just the more that I put upon myself, the harder it is to juggle, like, my moods and stuff like that. So yeah, like it's difficult. That's what I have to say when it comes to a situation such as these cards. So yeah, definitely I feel them.
Okay, well, I love the fact that at least your perspective your perspective is good.
That's true. It's always good to have a good outlook. You
It
never know.
really is though, because it makes it like I love the fact that you're the type of person that your world can be falling apart and you'll just be like smiling.
I know, like that. There was that like comic strip with the dog that says "This is fine in the fire." That's
Yes.
what it's like. Yep.
You are the dog. You're just smiling. I love it. But yeah, um, positive vibes your way, Creason. Positive vibes your way. Okay.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I know what happens to the dog at the end of that comic, so we're
Oh
just gonna
shit.
ignore that part.
Okay. All right. So my cards. So the first card that I got for myself shit. The first card I got for myself is
I hope it's not shit.
no, it's wait, let me make sure I got this right, because the first one is yes, fuck. The first one is perspective, and it has a lot to do with the family situation, and it's the 3 of Swords. Okay, the 3 of Swords is sorrow, heartbreak, and pain. All right, and that's the first card. That's my perspective card. The second card that I got for myself is the Knight of Wands in reverse. And basically, what does it say? The Knight of Wands reverse represents someone who's become upset and discouraged because their goals haven't been achieved and they've lost focus as a result. Fuck these cards, okay? So these 2 cards, I feel like we've been going through it, and I've been going through it silently, and I'm trying to find ways. Quite literally, I am going through the loss of a relationship, the loss of um a family member, not literally, but the fact that that relationship is gone, and it's not ever going to get back.
Mm-hmm.
And that perspective, I mean, it's pretty fucked up and dark, but quite literally, yeah, like I am heartbroken. I am grieving. And again, I don't know how to feel or what to do with the emotions. I have a pretty fucking dark sense of humor. Me
Mm-hmm.
and Creason can go at it, dude. with our
Yeah.
with our dark sense of humor, but it's I've allowed this person to take over the past few weeks, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, fuck, like how do I heal? So I'm lighting my healing candle and fucking that incense thing that Trey got me, the chakra, and my heart has been heavy lately, and using my crystals. And I don't like talking it out, because talking it out it gets me nowhere.
Uh-huh.
So I need a punching bag. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, the perspective card and the reality card both come hand in hand, because it's just I'm going through a really rough time, and I don't do good with letting go. And again, family means everything to me, and I love fucking hard. I am a ride or die,
Mm-hmm.
and in this sense, it died. Like this relationship died. So it sucks. But again, like I said, still got massive love for this person. And
Mm-hmm.
I literally feel like there was like 1,000 swords to my heart, and this person betrayed me, and they stabbed me in the fucking back, and they don't care, and they never have, and I genuinely feel like they never will, but it's all good. It's really not, but it's all good. Those are my cards. Depressing ass cards, but hey, you know.
Wow, we're just acting like two little dogs inside the flames, huh?
Hey, look, hopefully next episode we can just see. This is why it's not that I'm not a huge fan of tarot, but like when you want to fucking get called out, like let's go, you know?
That's true. I mean, that's the way to do it. We're doing different types of tarot stuff though. Like
Yes.
we're going through all the different, like, you know,
we're doing some deep. So Creason, my husband, and I are doing some like deep shadow work to the point where like I fucking wish that I like never did it, even though like I'm glad that we did, because last night when I tell you I the 3-card spread, I got this new deck that Creason gave me, and it's a dark one, and I was so excited. I was like, ooh, like I'm gonna call you guys out. And then like lastly I did my cards, and I was like, oh look, like these cards just say that like I'm perfect and there's nothing wrong. And I went on and I like did the cards, and when I told you Trey went to town.
Yeah, he never stopped.
He
went right past the station.
Creason just sat there and was just like, I don't know if you had like a smirk on your face or like you were just like, yo.
I couldn't do anything at that moment. I mean, he went off the rails and he just kept going.
No, it was, but anyways, yeah, we've been getting pretty deep. Maybe that's why you fell off.
That's probably it.
There's too much calling out. Look, next episode, positive vibes. We're gonna pull one of my Oracle decks that don't talk shit.
It's not talking shit, it's talking the truth.
It is talking the truth, but sometimes I feel like, you know, it's one of those that one card that I pulled for both of us yesterday where it's like, oh, like, you know, it's all spiritual and you have to be happy, and it's like, fuck, this is reality though. What the fuck am I supposed to do with this heartbreak? Oh, you want me to sit here and think positive thoughts all day? It's hard.
It truly is hard, yes.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of went a little like more. I apologize. We will talk to you guys next week. I wanted to throw out, and I haven't told this to Creason, but you know, here we are. We're on Google Podcasts now.
Oh, wow. Congratulations to us.
Yeah, I got the email today. We're on Google Podcasts now. So we have a bunch, like we're on a lot of platforms. We'll go on and put it in the description of this video. Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to us.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. And always remember to love yourselves. Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.